Hello.
Yep. Which can't blame myself for, because guess what? Can't change that. And also had no ability to do anything against it, so. One.
Okay, you guys couldn't hear me at all on the stream.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a good thing I just decided to look up there and notice that there was absolutely no bar movement.
That would have sucked if that went on long, because there's no way for me to really notice.
Yep. Okie dokie.
We went and hung out with the priest. We learned that they were a specific type of drone doppelganger. And they are meant for basically taking over an area intentionally through the drones. And we learned that some of them confused together. That's the summary of everything.
Yep.
Yep.
I believe you guys were also deciding to go to, it wasn't Agatha's. I think you were going to the old lady. Yeah, the old lady at the edge of the woods.
We were going to the one that's been missing, that disappeared for a bit.
Yeah.
And I was talking out of character with the Lycan, and I have mentioned this in character before. I think we should stop talking to people as soon as possible. So after this person, I don't think we should talk to anyone else. I think we should be doing our own thing.
That seems reasonable.
Because we're in a situation where we're gaining a lot of notice for going around to different people.
Mm-hmm.
Do we even go?
Something else that's been mentioned in this area that we didn't ever touch on is the entire Earth cult. We haven't even been there. In fact, I forgot about it entirely. I thought that was just these guys.
Yeah, no, there's a big mess going on in this area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys want to continue to the old lady's hut, or what is it that you desire? In case
with the change in information, what do you guys want to do? Because we do also have the slight vacuum gap of we just killed some of them, and they may not realize where we go after this point.
That is a possibility.
Do you think that she might know anything about the Earth cult?
Yeah, some of what I want to know, in fact, most of it can wait. So I'm down to do what anyone else wants to do. We've got a lot of knowledge to go on. I think we definitely need to figure out what our plan of attack's going to be, one way or the other.
I got a stupid question for you, by the way, for the DM. Who owns the mine? Anyone specific? Is there a mine nearby? Because getting some raw iron would be very nice.
It's currently under control of the Earth Cult, but the owner has been missing.
There we go. That's our end right there. Because getting some raw iron would be very nice for figuring out who's friend or foe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, I need a definitive answer. Where are you guys going from here?
Yeah. How far's the iron mine?
That's gonna be north of this town, so around town again.
And we're already kind of heading in a southern direction.
Yep.
Okay. I think we're already most of the way there. Might as well start.
If we go back around the town again, we're definitely going to have eyes on us. And we do have that gap. If we're going to do anything other than go home and search through the room again and see what we can find that way, I think we go ahead and see the old lady and see if she may have something for us. If she's been through this before, she may have iron.
Good point. There is another option as well. And it's not the best idea, but we can always split the party. I have the capacity of using switch in-betweens, moving to a different location, and then creating a disguise for myself.
Somewhere to be. Not one. We're having a blast. Angie tells me it's recommended by reports. Roads are going down.
I can hear some background noise on someone's
Yeah, that was
microphone.
Draven.
A second.
Yep.
Do recommend to have everyone have crisp on. That does help with that type of thing, as a heads up.
Yeah, but I think it doesn't work on the phone version, so it depends on how Draven's connecting.
It does work.
I'm working on my laptop. I would be down for going to see the old lady. If somebody would want to come with me on that.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Okay, you two want to go? I could try to create a ruckus and go the other direction, so to speak.
You're good at that, so we'll meet back up at the house, I guess.
I would say later tonight, maybe. Yeah. Because we need to make sure that we're not followed back. As soon as they know where we hang out, they're gonna basically implant to that area.
Exactly. So he looks over and just kind of smiles at Star. So me and you, we'll meet you guys back later, okay?
Scroll out.
Sounds good.
Yep. So we kind of head off and toward the old lady's place that we were told about.
Now, Betty was going to be still at the house taking care of the sort of base of operations.
Okay.
And, is there any specific things that you would do around there while you're there?
Yeah. She probably would like, I don't know, just kind of like look around curiously about like the books and stuff, because she's never really had a nice book.
Okay, are you looking at, like, the normal part of the house or the secret room that they found?
All the above.
Okay. Well, after a little bit, when you get down to the basement, you do notice that the Mothman seems to be gone.
Oh no.
But
Where'd he go?
instead, there is a very strange, almost pale glowing elvish man in robes. The robes look a little damaged, especially at the ends, and they seem to have black and brown spots on the back, almost like giant eyes. Just 2 of them.
She's gonna like think real hard about this and be like, Are you the moth?
He just turns around slowly. His eyes are glowing almost like the moon in a lake. And he goes, "Yes. You're part
Neat.
of the Coburn group? I think
She
his
nodded.
grandson was here?"
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Yes, it's very hard to remember what happens when I'm like that.
You mean big?
When I'm in my cursed form. So what are you guys doing here on the Coburn estate?
Well, I know I came here to help some people out.
Hmm.
And wait a minute, I lost track of my notes, sorry.
Note takers. I love note takers. It shows passion.
An associate of Lycos has sent me to help.
Okay, so you lead with that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave with that.
An associate of Lycos.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a name I haven't heard in a very long time. So... you came here to help people for Lycos.
She nods. She's like, I don't know much, but I'm gonna help any way I can.
And something's been going on in the town since the old man died. Oh. What details do you know on the current situation?
I must have missed taking notes on that part.
Oh, we can retroactively go back and see what the group would have filled her in on.
Yeah.
And so she knows that this is Victor's grandfather's home.
Oh, we can actually do like a flashback and sit here and do the whole scene so you guys can ask things and
Yeah.
fill things
That's
in.
kind of what I'd intended for the drinking scene to close out a couple of sessions ago to be for her.
Yeah. So we can kind of use this as a flashback to that scene and...
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's the night before you guys were drinking, talking about everything. Go ahead and fill her in and help set the scene for it all.
So I had asked about a name for the group, and we decided that we would workshop it. So we asked Betty about herself and kind of what she is into doing. So we've just met and they placed you here. Can you tell us, like, what can you tell us about you?
She's gonna like just basically tell you about her family and that like she's never met her dad and that her brothers like have like weird powers.
Okay. So we go ahead and kind of do an introduction for each of us, I'm guessing.
Yep, you can do introductions, the whole conversation for bringing her up to speed.
Okay. So my name's Victor. I'm mostly, I work with swords when it comes to fighting style and methods of attack, but I do have something of a second job. I work as an archivist in one of the big libraries up north. This is my hometown, and we're trying to fight off a incursion from the Fey realms. This house used to belong to my grandfather, and as you've kind of seen, he had more secrets to him than ever met the eye that I was aware of.
He sounds real interesting.
He definitely seems a lot more interesting than I ever thought he was. I just thought he liked to spoil us.
I mean, spoiling can be good depending on what it was.
Well, of course. Victor smiles and takes a big sip of his drink, looking over at Athenoth and Star. You guys got anything to add?
So, introductions wise, I have two separate names, and like I've said, I've been considering going by one here, but one that's more important to you at the current moment is going to be Calder Belmont. I am a Belmont of a monster hunting family, and I'm here basically to assist in this endeavor of removing threats from this area due to a request given to me by Lycos.
Same person then. It's nice to meet you, Calder, she says, and she smiles.
As for my other name, we might want to consider calling me Azenop while I'm here. Until further notice, considering I doubt a monster hunter in this area is going to go under the radar.
She nods.
I do like the thought of bringing my family name into this, and that is another thing to talk about with the whole group. Having a Belmont here would publicly be very nice for my family. But it may cause some difficulty for us, just in general, if I go around introducing myself that way to other people.
That's completely understandable. I mean, you never know what's going to come.
Trouble does tend to find you in the strangest places.
Yeah, as soon as I say I'm Calder, there's going to be other things that start showing up too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I'm Stella Arkenbright. Grew up on a ranch until some tragic circumstances led me to taking up moonshining just to survive. Uh, that's that's been uh, with Calder for many years before I knew he was a Calder. Back when he went by Azanoth, and
Family name's a bit of contention here.
yeah.
Mm.
But I get after he went, he kind of ran off after at one point, and then later I found out why. And a guy named Balthazar found me and dragged me out here, and so here I am with my father's rifle. And my experiences as a runner has come in handy on a few occasions out here.
Yeah. I'm glad you're here now. She holds up her drink kind of like a little toast.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm gonna need more drinks.
Yeah.
It's one of the original reasons I started hanging out with Stella, actually.
I do remember her code name being Witsky.
He just passes the bottle back around the table, kind of setting it in the middle of everybody.
Still is taking taking large drinks of alcohol. What do we got?
So, is there anything else you feel like you need to know right offhand, Betty, or?
Not that I am aware of. Well, maybe perhaps. What are we fighting for?
The liberation of the people here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Fey realm needs to stay in the Fey realm, and this world needs to stay in this one. When they mix, weird shit happens, dangerous shit happens, and people disappear.
We need to cut them out before their invasion reaches into other realms.
Okay, yeah. We better stop that. I get that.
The other thing we need to figure out is if the people that they have been taking are being taken prisoner or killed and having their faces taken.
Hmm.
Because unfortunately, even though I know which one these are, it does not mean that I know what they're doing with the people when they take them.
At the point of this
Yeah.
conversation, you did not know what they were.
Good point.
I mean, have we ever like found any bodies of like evidence of them like stealing faces?
At the point of out of character at the point of this conversation, no, we haven't. The next
Okay.
session we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, we haven't.
Okay.
But update, yes, we have.
So we just kind of drink and bullshit the rest of that night.
Okay. So, what are you going to tell Mothman that you do know, if anything?
She's basically just gonna tell him all that she's learned about what they're fighting for, and that they need to stop the Fey realm mixing with the current realm.
He kind of sits down at one of the little side tables there, and kind of puts his leg up, leans on one arm, on the armrest, and is like, So, they're sending doppelgangers. They're trying to do an invasion. Sounds like my brother is doing that thing that he's doing again, trying to make a ploy for power again. Probably to make sure that I'm not only stuck on this side, but in that less sentient form. There's a reason why I can't go back. He's using the power of our family relic to keep the moon up over our realm in the Feywild. I go back, I become this moth creature.
I see.
Yes.
So once we free them, then you can go back?
If we can break the curse that he's put on the land, or the curse on me, yes.
I get ya.
If he gains the power that he's trying to get, then we'll have a bit of a problem. That problem will essentially mean that I'll be stuck as this creature unless the curse gets broken, and, well, unless it can survive off of moonlight, plants will die around here. Food will get scarce, and the invasion into the material plane will become more prevalent.
So it'll become a wasteland.
In theory, anything that technically lives off of lunar energy and lunar light would be able to encroach from the Feywild. So it would become more like a infection of the Feywild.
I see.
So, the only other person that knew that I am the creature in these woods was the Coburn grandfather, and the last guardian of my secrets. So, I've been here for a while having to deal with this sort of forced banishment by my little brother.
Sounds like your little brother's a butthead.
They tend to be. It's all about them usually.
Yeah, that's true.
But in the end, though I don't wish for him to die, it might be about time that I have to make the hard decision. out of the people that you're traveling with, you've got a Coburn. Who else do you guys have? What skill sets do you guys have? So I might advise you as best as I can.
Hmm. Well, I do the big swing. And then we have somebody that has a gun. So we got some good range.
Okay, so you have a marksman, you have...
Aznath would have told you last night he's a spellcaster.
Okay.
So we got brute force, we've got marksman. What are the others? What are the others, dear? Stimky?
Hmm?
Did you hear me?
What'd you
Are
say,
you
sorry?
hearing Draven? Because Draven's talking. You
Yes,
just talked
yes,
over him.
Oh,
I was taking.
I kind of muted Draven because of the TV in the background.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I just...
Can you hear it now, or is it? I put
No, it's
CRISPR
not
on.
there.
Okay.
I don't hear it right now. We'll find out as... Because if you have auto adjust on, it might auto adjust to try to pick it up. Because that's the other thing.
Okay.
Yes. So is there... Because it's what Betty relays to him that he gets the information of.
Yeah.
So if she wishes to withhold information, she can.
I feel like she would withhold anything she felt like wasn't needed, like the little extra details. Like she would just say, like, a precision fighter
Okay.
with a little baby magics, maybe here and there.
Okay. Yeah, baby magics.
I was there.
Okay.
She can say that because she didn't see the amount of stacks I dropped on that guy.
Yeah, that's true.
That you dropped. No. The worst one was actually Axel before the nerf. Holy. I did not realize that the moonbeam thing, the moonlight thing is just, yeah, moonlight glow is just a fucking nuclear bomb. But it helped balance the system. Okay. So. What little you tell him, he just kind of sits there and goes, so essentially, Coburn's running around with a bunch of young adventurers. Great. This is what I'll have to work with to fix things. If only I could get a Belmont or two. This might be a little bit easier. Okay.
I mean, I'm not much, but I'm strong.
Yes. I just kind of wish I could call on my grandfather's deal that he made. Okay.
If only I was there.
If only that information were to be leaked. So I can try to keep this place secure from the things. If he's doing an invasion again, I don't think he's going to have enough good doppelgangers that he would have helped sire and create. So this means that he's probably using drones.
Hmm.
So we have a Fey incursion going on. No doubt they're going after Agatha and her ley line that she's protecting. Okay. Any other factions we know causing trouble in the area?
I mean, I wouldn't know about the Earth cult, right?
Depends on if they shared that with you.
I think we probably did, but it was not in my mind originally.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Because I had completely forgotten about it by the point that it was relevant.
Yep.
So, we would have mentioned that last night, most likely, as things to keep an eye out for.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then she'll probably just mention what she heard about the Earth cult.
So Earth cult's here. And they're inhabiting a mine. That's gonna be hard. Depending on what casters they have, that's literally giving them access to resources that'll be very useful for them. Trying to get rid of them from their fortification will be hard.
Hmm.
But it
Perhaps
does,
we could flush them out.
perhaps, or perhaps we might be able to play the sides against each other.
Hmm.
If they are infiltrated by the doppelgangers already, we won't have a problem. If they aren't, accidentally helping the doppelgangers get a few might be beneficial.
Hmm. Perhaps they can overtake them then.
Or at least sabotage their efforts from within.
That's true.
Problem is, if they do go to do that, I can assure you that any iron in the mine will probably be infected.
Infected.
There are magics we have that, when dealing with issues on the surface world, we may or may not use to convert the iron in the supply chain that they have to be other metals, so we don't have to worry about cold iron. It's a clever thing that we came up with to prevent our enemies from being able to kill us easier.
Well, I mean, it's always good to have some kind of defense.
The good old iron to steel spell.
Yeah.
Or iron to silver.
That's hilarious, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we learned those magics for self-defense, but you don't know how many kingdoms will pay or sit here and trade away their daughters or whatnot to get a bunch of, well, silver and gold in their mines. They'll literally trade away iron, which is useful for so many other things, for riches and fame. Now, I'll let you in on something. If the curse is broken, I get my kingdom back, my court. I will need you guys to procure somebody for me then. I require a Belmont. It's about high time that we bring one into the court once more and work on their ascension.
Sweats.
She nods. We have one of those in our group. What that do?
It might.
Hmm.
It depends on several things on if I have to be there or not then. Do you know his genetic predisposition? As
Would I know that?
it might be a little bit of a complex thought. How much time do you think Betty spent with her youngest brother?
I don't know. I feel like she probably divided her time equally as much as she could to take care of them all.
So, roll me a intelligence check then. And we'll give you a advantage saying that you did spend a decent amount of time with him and the other ones, so you might be able to pick something up out of what he's asking.
What dice?
2d10,
Okay.
and that'll be plus your intellect modifier, which is 2. Right, I believe. Give me a second. Yes, intellect, yeah. So it'd be medicine, technically.
Oh, I forgot my mic was off. 8, a 9, and a 2, so 19.
What you're getting is he's asking what he is kind of bloodline-wise, what kind of draconian he is.
I mean, I would tell all that I would know about that. I don't know specifics, I don't think.
So it'll come down to Axel. Would Calder had told Betty that his specific power type?
He did say mage. He probably indicated that he's good at counteracting shapeshifters, so I think implied wise, yes.
Okay. So, with that 19 check, yeah, you would get the kind of hint that he's asking if he's like a solar, umbral, lunar, fire, what kind of draconian he is. And being the idea of shapeshifters and mythology in that, what little you know between mythology and some of the weird things that Rael kind of seemed to look through, he would probably be lunar.
Okay, she would just tell him that she believes he's a lunar.
You see the Mothman stop for a minute and just tap his fingers on the other armrest as he's still leaning there. Then I have a bit more I can do with your group. This changes drastically how we can handle the situation. Because if the orb of moonlight is destroyed, that my family gets the power from, I lose my power as well. Our court is destroyed. It is also the source of the power being used for the curse over our land. And using it in conjunction with a ley line, the potential would be to also cover this continent with the curse. Therefore meaning I would have to flee this country before it happens.
Hmm.
But because of how our court works, we can technically give somebody a sort of title. Certain titles can bestow powers upon others. Now, usually we have to have some favor or whatnot that we put on the person, but being a Belmont and Lunar circumvents this for me. You see him reach into his robes and pull out a silver ring, and he offers it up, sitting in his palm to you. I require you to give this to the Belmont. So that
She takes it.
So he can wear it when he comes back here. I'm going to have him before nightfall hits, so I can do this. I'm going to have to turn him into a lord of my court. He will need one of his bloodline, or himself, to assume a title as well, underneath his lordship. This will allow him to technically have access to the orb, as well as whoever he gives these powers to. The problem is, he may need to be protected, or whoever he chooses may need to be protected temporarily, as the powers start to happen. He will eventually start to cocoon and metamorphosize whoever he gives these powers to. Do you understand the complexity of this? It's also something that he will have to do at the orb, so him and his chosen person will have to be in the Feywild. And it is why he has to perform the rites for me if you go to use this power beforehand.
She nods, and she's trying to like mentally store everything, and she's like, I'll do my best to tell them everything and give them the ring.
Okay. I'm going to go back to reading some of the stories that I didn't get to hear from old Colburn. I miss his company, but sadly enough, most wood elves do not live nearly as long as the royalty in Feywild do.
She nods.
With that, we will change the scene to one of the other events going on. Because, Axel, you were going to go north and go where?
I am actually not entirely sure with that. Also, my alarm's going to ring for the pizza really soon, as a heads up.
So I can come back to you then and let you figure out, because I think you said you were going to do a distraction in the town.
I was going to basically remain where we're at and make sure no one follows them for a moment, and then I was going to head out somewhere else, to a different location.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll move to Stella and Victor then. As you go towards this house that you've heard about, you never really went to the south and that. It always seemed weird. But as you're getting closer to this part of the town, and because of certain individuals that you've met in the last couple of months, you start to get a feeling, much like the town with the Leshy, that there is weird magic in the air. There's no decay, there's nothing weird going on here, but it's like the magic here is weird. The woods themselves don't look like most of the modern plants and modern evolutions of things. Some of the pillars and that of stone that should be from older times look almost as if they did the day they were hewn. It seems almost like this part of the forest is frozen in time. And as you come across a lovely hut on a hill in the woods, you see in the trees a town that seems to have been overcome by the trees and vines and everything else. The town itself seeming long forgotten, but the house with a windmill on it seeming very much kept up. For an old lady to keep up such a house, it seems impractical. But as you approach, you find a little girl sitting outside playing with a doll and sitting on a stool. As you approach, she calls out, "So, I see you guys have finally come. Or is this not yet have happened yet?"
Victor just kind of looks over at Star, kind of confused. This whole place just feels so weird.
What do you mean by weird?
The magic.
Ah, yes. Our magic.
I've felt similar stuff before.
So this is the now. She looks up at you and is like, "Well, my sisters would love to sit here and meet you, Victor. I've been waiting for you."
He kind of freezes and looks at her. How do you know who I am?
Well, I know you're familiar with weird magic, are you not?
Mm-hmm, I am. This reminds me of stuff I've seen in the last few months of my works.
Yes. Because you told us, or will tell them, about the time you fought a Leshy. And you met our cousin. I'm glad to know that she's still alive. They've tried to kill her so many times. It's hard to kill her. My name is Rosemary, by the way.
Certain things just kind of click in Victor's head, and he looks over at Star. It's nice to meet you, Rosemary. Can you take us to your sisters?
She slowly stands up and begins walking to the door. Come on, would you like a cup of tea, Stella?
Yes. Thank you.
She just opens the door, and you see, sitting in one chair in the corner, rocking back and forth and knitting, an old lady. You've seen her around town when you were a kid. She seems as if she hasn't aged a day. And you see a woman in her maybe 30s. She is very beautiful. And she looks over and is like, "Rosemary, is it the time that you told us about?" "Yes, it seems. Seems everything's going to start changing. Perhaps the tower will be fixed as well." "I don't know if they'll want to fix the tower yet. Maybe they will. I still can't remember when that happens." "It's okay. Just go to your room. We'll take it from here." Now, I need you to give me a wisdom check as a kind of memory, Draven.
Alright. Just a second.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's one of your good stats. Jeesh.
15.
Okay. You vaguely remember the old lady's name, or at least what she was constantly called by other people, was Tarragon. But you don't remember seeing the other two around town ever. The
Oh,
middle-aged woman begins pouring tea for you all. And she goes, I'm sorry about Rosemary. She can be a little bit off-putting. My name is Time. And technically, my sisters here are me, but not me. It was a weird situation for me to acquire these powers, or we to acquire them, or technically Tarragon it's best not to overthink the situation. But in the now, I do know that you guys have questions. And you guys have a big problem to deal with.
yeah. I've just came home after a long time away, and the Feywild, the Fey realm, is encroaching in the town. It's attacking my family, and they've replaced people with doppelgangers.
Yes, this isn't
In
the
which-
first time it's happened, young Victor. But it's the first time that all the pieces are in place.
What do you mean by that, Miss Tarragon?
You see, we've had to see this happen over and over again. We've had to see certain people try to break certain curses over and over again. One curse was one that we placed on this little town here. That's why it's forgotten to time, to space. Another one is one from the Feywild. Two brothers internally caught in conflict. One who got the crown, and the other one who seized it. Their feud has been very long. Yes, but I think the feud will be over soon. Won't it, Tarragon? Oh, the only ones that will be able to tell that is them and Rosemary. Rosemary always seems to have a problem with seeing which line we're in. We are the Hag Matrons of Time. In fact, we remember a very long time ago. When there was, how to say, less desirable things going on in these lands. Fomorian invasions, Feywild issues, goblin kingdoms. All of them a mess. Perhaps sometime soon you can talk to Rosemary and me, and we can get that stuff fixed. But for now, Time here. She's the one who needs help most with what's going on. Do you wish for a reading from us?
He looks at Star. Are you interested in a reading? Because at this point, I'm curious.
It could be interesting.
I will take
Yeah.
one, Miss Tarragon.
We will allow you to have a reading, but you must choose which one of us three will give you a reading. Both of you will get one of your own. I see the past. Time sees the present, and Rosemary sees the future, and multiple timelines. Who do you wish to ask for your readings?
He just kind of closes his eyes for a moment, fooling with the stone that he carries in his pocket. I think I want to ask you for a reading.
Then we can begin. For you, real quick. Ask your question, and I will define the truth.
Oh. He wants to kind of see, what do I need to know about the past to help solve this Fey Realm issue?
She slowly seems to unfurl what she was knitting, and you start to see a tapestry in the knitting. The thing rolling out onto the floor and seeming to move. You see two brothers, two moths, seeming to sit here and be kind of in line for a crown. One of them getting it, and the crown being taken away by the other. The lighter moth brother seeming to be converted into a humanoid moth and banished. You see an orb that seems to be made out of pure moonlight that even glows from this knitting, that seems to be used to cause a moon up in the sky over the Feywild, causing eternal night in this kingdom. You see within the tapestry someone that looks familiar in the pictures. You see your grandfather seeming to move around and fight off strange, shape-shifting creatures. But he gets pushed back, wounded badly in this battle. It seems like it was a battle for the crown, and she speaks. Seems your grandfather stopped his adventures because of a wound. A wound that he could never truly heal. The wound wasn't just physical. It was on his soul as well. He lost much in that fight. But then he gets the house. The house where he seems to start storing artifacts. As if waiting for somebody. I know he spoke to Rosemary when we offered him a reading. Perhaps, it is true. He found out it was for you. He had to prepare for this battle for you kids. And then he was asked. Then he was asked if he should be hard on you all, to make sure that you could be strong. But it seems Rosemary told him no. You should be happy. You should have joy. because later you will be sad. Interesting to finally find out what they talked about so long ago.
Victor has just chills running through his soul as she talks to him. Everything kind of makes sense, especially the last part of it. And the Fae stories. He'd actually grown up hearing similar tales told as crib stories he would hear from his parents, his grandparents, and aunts and uncles growing up. And it all just kind of resonates with him.
You know, time gets hard to gauge when you're like us. But I believe he came to see us almost 1,000 years ago when he decided to settle down here. It's good to know that his family line is going to still be strong. Now,
1,000 years.
yes. He lived longer than he should have. But
Obvious.
for a man like him and who he worked with, and who he worked for, I can understand why.
He was with the Sanctum of Stability.
He was more than that. He worked for an old god that's no longer really worshipped much anymore. He worked for a group of adventurers that worshipped and followed Bonderville.
You have certainly given me a lot to think about.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Tarragon. He kind of smiles at her softly.
And what about you, dear? Who would you want to ask for a reading from?
So much that I want to know of my past, but I am most concerned about what's happening now.
Then ask time your question.
Miss Time, if you would.
Oh, what is your question? What do you wish to know about the now?
The two Moth brothers what is I'm not sure how to phrase this.
It's okay, dear. Take your time. Catch your breath.
What do you want to know about the Moth Brothers?
Think I can hazard a guess who one of those Moth brothers might be, but as for the other, where does he reside?
Well, where he resides would be in the court castle in the Feywild. Or do you mean where is he currently?
Like to know where he is currently and what his current actions, what he is currently doing.
You see her take a handful of like dried leaves and petals, and she starts pouring some of the hot water in a bowl in the center of the table, and then just sprinkles it over top. The leaves starting to open as well as the flower petals and starting to dance in the water. An image of this other elf seeming to be black with white markings on his back for his robes. He seems to be slightly darker skinned and still glows with almost like a moonlight glow on a dark object. His eyes still having the sight almost of the moonlight on a pond, but as if there's clouds slightly blocking the light. He seems to be talking to several commanders, and this strange creature that looks similar to the ones that you guys killed, but he has a strange growth on the side of his head. And the petals that seem to make it seem to kind of move as if it's breathing or speaking on the side as well. As if both of them are a head or something. She begins slowly stirring the leaves in that with a spoon around the edge. And it starts to show the table. The table seeming to have a map of the town with a bunch of little dots on where things are. And those dots seem to be moving like little flags being moved by something, seeming to show some sort of location. Off to the side, it seems like there is several areas that are not exactly mapped out. Seems like someplace to the north has a couple of dots in it, but not a lot. And a couple of camps of dots going towards where the Feywild seems to connect. But there's no dots in an entire radius around the ship in which you guys came in on. It seems as if any of the dots that get close seem to go missing. Another place that seems to be dot-free seems to be the town and the forest where the hags are. Seems as if they're trying to strategize a plan, as if they're talking about how they're going to get more people in or out of some place, and that seems to be in the north. Victor, by looking at this, you can tell by looking into this bowl that that is where the mines should be for the town. It seems they are planning a battle. They're planning to begin pushing. It almost seems like a few of them are panicked. You guys have had encounters with them already, haven't you?
Yes. Recently.
Which means,
Oh, no.
I believe they may have gotten the message back.
But they don't know who did it, and they're blaming the wrong party.
They must think that you guys are working with the cult. Or that the cult is going to be a pest, allowing you too much effort. It might be that they're trying to get information on if you're associated with the cult too. There is quite a dilemma here then.
Yes.
So we know that they know you're here.
I kind of blundered into them knowing.
Yes. It's hard when so much of the town just so happens to be covered in them. It's why we stopped going to the town. We saw it happening, stocked up as much as we could, and we have to ride it out.
He takes a long drink of his tea as he's thinking.
So, most I can suggest to you guys then is try to find a way to go under the radar, or to pit them against each other or something. You guys have many choices here. It's whatever you guys feel you can do. And as you guys are watching, you do notice some of the dots on the map seem to be going to where you guys were, and where you last left Axel. With that, we can take a break.
I'm gonna fight them all myself, I swear to God. I'll kill every last one of them.
We can.
Dude.
Yeah.
And I'll fucking do it again.
So we'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes to quick bathroom break and get drinks and everything. We'll see you guys soon.